Okay guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another video. I have this video a little bit different for you guys. Once again, this will not have my avatar, and I'm using the actual, I'm using the actual, Google website to make these videos. I will only be doing this for a couple of them. Because I actually do want to kind of I'm probably gonna talk more about some other stuff too, because I actually wanted to talk about some stuff going on right now with the world and all that, and also there was actually this Family Guy thing I've been wanting to talk about, but I've been busy this week and haven't been able to talk about it. It's related to one of the characters that I wanted to talk about, but that'll be probably for another time if I can remember to actually do that. Um, yeah, this news pop culture stuff is gonna be about apparently money and Gen Z. Apparently, people are saying that Gen Z people are broke and all that. There's been a lot of that stuff going on lately where Gen Zs are apparently like this or that. They're the cause of a lot of problems. It feels like. Or it's like like social media is trying to make it out like that. So I'm gonna kind of talk about it. I'm gonna refer to Gen Z though as the 2000s. I'm pretty sure that's classified as Gen Zs. I'm pretty sure it's the 2000s people. I do want to talk about that, but I will probably refer to it like that. Because there is a lot going on lately. But before we get any further, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. YouTube is not in the best place right now, so make sure you guys are still subscribed. And if you guys want to, you guys can follow me on Instagram and X. I'm gonna start trying to post some more stuff over on Instagram soon. And I'm figuring out the X thing, but I've had a lot of crap going on this year. So I have not really had the chance to, get that taken care of. But trust me, I am trying to get to that too. But yeah, there's a lot of crap going on. And that'll be another video talking about the industry and all as a whole. But this will be something kind of separate. I mean, I'll probably dive into it a little bit, but this is more something else. So, yeah, if you guys don't want to listen to me talk about that, that's fine. I actually do have, some Let's Plays I have, coming. I actually have another one I'm going to be starting here pretty soon, a Katamari game. So there's that, because I know this stuff can be kind of controversial, but I feel like I need to kind of talk about this stuff, because there's a lot of it going on around the world. But Anywho, let's go ahead and actually get into this. So, yeah, the whole money situation thing I wanted to talk about here. So the people are trying to blame Gen Zs for this and that, like why the world looks colorless and this and that, and why crap looks dull and boring. Well that's the same thing, and this and that, and why we can't, like, everything's getting censored and all that. And I just want to clarify, I don't think it really matters what generation you're in. There's always something, like, there's always something that's happened, no generation is perfect. Let's be real here. Like, I think the 80s and 90s had their, fair share of problems with some stuff, the 2000s did too, and I mean, some generations were worse than others, but there's always been something going on, but, I mean, in the 80s and 90s, there was all these gangs and stuff, people getting in trouble at schools and stuff, and all that. That was kind of a thing, and all that, and now we're kind of in a world where things are all, like, kind of soft, but, again, it kind of all blends in together a little bit, and and that's kind of the thing there. And the same thing with the money. Like, I want to clarify that no, like I think everybody right now is just struggling with money wise. People cannot afford a lot of stuff, and they cannot afford a lot of stuff, and then that's kind of been a thing for a little while now. It's been a little while now, and we're kind of seeing it and all that, and a lot of people, I noticed people online are shitting on people who voted for the president and all that, and this and that. And I want to clarify that I don't think it would have mattered who was in office. I think we would be dealing with problems. Now I don't know if it would be this bad right now, but it was getting there. It was getting there. I mean, I've told you guys, food was getting expensive, and all that. And hell, like I think I mentioned this before, getting a freaking brand new phone. And this was last year. They were doing this shit. They were trying to charge me, like $2,000 for a freaking phone and all that. Which we could barely even pay off, at that time too, so clearly this shit's been going on for a while and all that, and no, and again, I'm not trying to pat anybody on the back. I think the political shit, behind the scenes and all that is a mess and all that, but it's also not very good in other countries either. Everything's kind of falling all over the place right now, and I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. I really don't know. I just want to say that. And I will clarify too. Again, I want to clarify this that again with politics. I don't normally get into them. I told you guys I don't like didn't like either president. That we were possibly going to get. We had Kamala Harris, and then we had, Donald Trump. I didn't really care for either of them, and all that, and, I was just like wanting the election thing to be over with, and this and that, it is like a freaking disaster. Like, it is a disaster. If some of you guys watch my videos that are not in the U.S., it's not great up here. It's not. I don't know how it is in other countries, 'cause other countries are more strict with things, but it ain't the greatest up here either. I mean, we are losing a lot of money and all that. We are losing some money in this and that. We are losing some money. So there is, that and all that. It's kind of, crazy and all that. Like, it is not very good. Now, I actually thought maybe things were going to get better because we had Trump before and things are getting better. Now it's not looking like things are getting a lot better. But I don't want to say if things are going to get better or not. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to right now. I don't know. Like I said, I don't normally talk about that, but yeah, I will clarify and say that this shit was bad under Biden too. I am gonna say that it's been bad under Biden too. So it's not just Trump. It was bad under Biden too. And you could say, well, Trump caused a bunch of COVID and all that, because that's what Kamala Harris said. She was like in the freaking interview or the debates they were doing. That was like the last one I watched, and then I kind of quit watching it because, again, it's a bunch of people just calling out one person or the other. They're not pointing out the bullshit on both sides. But she was like saying, "Oh, the economy, we're trying to fix the mess that he caused and this and that." And I'm like, what did you guys do to fix anything? Like, what did you guys do? I mean, businesses were shutting down underneath you guys too, and in fact, you guys were censoring people. Yeah, they were censoring people. Like like during the election and all, a lot of these social media platforms were censoring people and all that, and they didn't do anything under that either. And That's the thing, though, and that's like I said, I don't think it would really matter who is really running. I think we would be dealing with some problems on both sides. Now that said, though, this is probably where we are gonna see some problems. Now I did talk about this with the government shutting down too a little bit, and I think we're gonna see some stuff, but I don't know how bad it'll be. I was saying in the video that I don't think it will be super bad. Now I'm looking at it like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. It's kind of hard to predict exactly what's going to happen. I was just kind of estimating more than anything, But I will say, a lot of crap, people are like having to cut stuff too. So a lot of businesses are probably going to go out if this keeps it up. A lot of businesses will go out. Some of the more popular ones might stay, but a lot of them are probably going to go out if things get kind of bad. And I mean, again, we've had this happen before. We've had this stuff happen before, So, it's nothing new. We've had things like this happen before, and that's kind of the thing there. We've had a lot of this stuff happen before, So, again, it's nothing really new. But I do want to clarify too and say, because things are so expensive, people are gonna start cutting costs. And that means we're going to see probably less people maybe eating out. I mean, eating out at places is awful. And that crap was bad, has been bad for years. It's been bad for years. And all that. People are overcharging for shit at some of these restaurants, And some of this isn't really the president's at all in general. It's just, or even the government, it's just the fast food places being greedy. But it's true. I mean, like, getting a Big Mac or a what was it called? A mix, I'll call it a pancake sandwich. I can't remember what it was at McDonald's. A Big Mac or a McGriddle. That's what it was. A McGriddle. It's like $3 or $4 for it now. I can't remember. It's kind of expensive. I don't eat at McDonald's a lot anymore because I fucking cannot stand them anymore. Like, I really cannot. Like, their food's okay, but God, they suck. Now, they are doing this stuff here. It's not just them. A lot of places are starting to do this crap where they're trying to get back customers that are actually, bringing back, like, older stuff and all that. McDonald's is doing their, adult Happy Meals and all that, and this and that. The problem is, though, is they're doing it, which is good and all, but number one, they're a lot of these places, not just McDonald's, but like Taco Bell and all that, too, they charge a lot of money for this shit. They do. They charge money for this shit, and then not only they do that, because I will say I had to pay like $12, like fucking 12. I'm not kidding, like $12 I had to pay to get these Happy Meal toys, and I mean I got like a shake with it, but like it was not worth $12. It was not, and especially when you don't even know what toy you're gonna get, it's kind of ridiculous. I did go to Taco Bell and got that nostalgic thing. I think I uploaded that for you guys. I don't think I did the McDonald's ones. I forgot to actually do that. I will show those off in the future for you guys. I still want to do that for you guys so you guys can see that. But, but I did switch out my memory card and all, and I kind of got things kind of mixed up because this phone, like, moves crap all over the place, But I can confirm the McDonald's ones were freaking expensive and all that, and again, it's also not worth going to these places when they're not fun anymore. Like, people are bitching about how, I talked about the beginning of the video, people are bitching about how these places look dull and boring now, and that's kind of the problem with, again, Taco Bell and McDonald's and Burger King and all of them. They all look fucking boring, Now, I made a video talking about that I have a theory that they might end up going back to their, their older designs, or maybe like make them more unique again. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they're gonna have to do something, because a lot of them are losing business and they are bringing this stuff back. But again, I don't know, because again, a lot of times they'll do these. It's not just them, like even like companies like Disney and all that. They bank on fucking nostalgic shit, but they don't really go back to what made things work before. They keep making the same damn mistakes. Now, not every company is like this, but I'm just saying, I'm like, that's kind of also the thing too, people like, when people are complaining about shit, like, especially a whole bunch of people, I think, I mean, if it's just a small group of people, then, I understand, but there's a lot of people complaining about this shit, especially the restaurants being, looking identical and boring and stuff, and then instead of fixing the problem, they just double or triple down on it. And that's kind of hurting their business too. It's hurting their business. That's kind of what McDonald's did. They went and, they had a lot of cool, unique, themed locations. Almost all of them were remodeled and boring now, And then, now people don't want to go pay, to go there and all that, That's kind of the thing, And when people can't afford that shit, they're not going to want to go out and eat and all that, They're going to try to go, they want to go to afford places, because a lot of this food is getting to the point where you could just go to the store and buy the shit way cheaper than what you're paying for at these restaurants. And I understand that the restaurants also have to carry the food too, but there's no reason like a Happy Meal toy should cost like $14 and all that either. That's fucking retarded and stupid. That makes no sense at all. It makes absolutely no sense. And they were doing this with the cups before that too, and all. And like I said, it is a mess. It is a mess. And like I've said, it doesn't really. I don't think it's. I mean, they're gonna blame the president and all that for this shit, but this shit's been going on for a while too. Yeah, I think the president, is involved with a lot of this crap, and that goes to the last few, but. But I think again, like when it comes to fast food and all, I think a lot of that is also just them being greedy too, But I'm sure again, because they gotta charge a certain amount because they resell some of that food, or they gotta get the items or products to make the food. So it makes sense why they would charge a little bit more, But again, if you're gonna charge people more money for it, then at least you guys can do is, again, let people actually, let people actually, have, a decent, amount of money, and like lower prices and all that. And they're starting to lower some prices and some things, but it's still expensive and all that. And then we got, like stores and all that too. Now, this is the part that could be a problem, definitely, and, we could see a lot of stores go under, and that is because a lot of products are actually, getting, a lot of products are, getting, get shipped and all that from country, the country and all that, or made in somewhere and all that, and, with the whole tariff thing that kind of happened, a lot of the stuff, was costing more money to make, too. So everything's kind of a mess there and all that, but, and all that, too, and that might cause some problems, too, especially, with stores trying to get, items in and all that, that could be a problem, too. But I don't think the tariffs, though, are the... I don't know. I think the tariffs kind of aren't really... I think they kind of fixed that problem. I think right now we're actually dealing with the government shutting down, and the government shutting down is definitely I mean, the tariffs, I wasn't really sure what to think about that, but the government, yeah, I was like, yeah, we're probably going to be dealing with losing some money here and all that. Speaking of money, you guys know I also talked about at the beginning of the year that Trump also has discontinued the pennies, which, I'd be like, okay, because maybe they were costing too much. But now they're talking about rounding shit up, which, I mean, if you're rounding it up, I would say they probably would be rounding it up to maybe 5 cents or something, maybe. I don't know. But it looks like they might be rounding a lot of shit up. So we might be seeing, more of that going up too, which, again, I can understand maybe discontinuing it or something like that, but I don't know why we need to completely just I don't know why we can't just use the penny still. I mean, well they're saying we can still use them, but I don't know why they need to round all the shit up, because I'm sure they can have the penny still in the banks and all that. I don't know. It's some stupid bogus. I mean, we also discontinued the $2 bill, and then we discontinued the $50 coins, which, by the way, are two things we actually could use. We could use those. Or the Sacagawea coins, which actually, I think I heard they actually brought those back this year. I'm not sure about that, but I think they brought those back this year. But, I don't know, it is a freaking disaster, though. It really is, But, yeah, the pennies, though, yeah, there are some that were released this year. I actually see them on eBay already going for a shit ton of money. And all that, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna hope I get lucky and just find one in the wild, because I'm like, I don't want to go online and pay that much money, because I actually do have a little booklet I was putting some pennies in, but I don't know where to actually go to find them. I mean, I'm sure there's a mint or something somewhere you could probably go to get one, but I don't know. I don't know how that would work, but yeah, I would. I don't know. I would probably go there if they haven't already, quit making mints of them, But yeah, I don't know. I do collect. I have a collection of some pennies, some old ones and all that. But yeah. I was trying to think. Yeah, we also have. But I was gonna say too. Another thing, I was gonna say too about Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about the stores too and all that. Now some stores are kind of coming back too, but I'm just curious to how are a lot of these stores gonna work if they come back? Are they gonna be able to stay open too with all this going on? I mean, I don't know. Stores are kind of the same way as restaurants. They don't feel as unique as they once did. Now, I don't think they have fallen as bad as restaurants and all that. Well, at least from my time period. I will say, Target used to have their fancy lights on the walls and all that, which is really cool. Sadly, they got rid of their lights on their walls and all that, because, they were trying to, replace them with they were trying to replace, I don't know why they replaced them. Somebody said one of the police was thinking maybe a fire or something, so they don't really even know. But that was kind of cool having all that and whatnot. But they do have their mascot all over the building and all that too. I actually like Target over Walmart. I don't like Walmart as much as Target. Especially since Walmart redid their floors. Their floors look horrible. They're all cracked up and all that. Remember when they used to look very unique and all that? And also their sections, a lot of their stores, their sections had they had their own colored areas and all. Their grocery section was all yellow and all that. It Before that, they actually had their stars, too, on their signs and all that. I mean, I don't mind their new logo too much. I brought that up before. I don't mind their new logo much, but I'm like, I don't know, I kind of missed all of that. But from what I could gather, though, some people are saying some stores that are actually coming back, because I think it's confirmed, like, Ames is coming back. I hear people saying Ames was actually a really good store. But I never really shopped at Ames because they were already gone when I was around, Well, actually, no, wait, no, I think they were still around when I was, when I was around, but they weren't like really around us. They were pretty much already gone, anyway. So I wouldn't have been able to go to them even if I wanted to. We did have, like, also Circuit City. That was a good one, because Circuit City had their unique looking stores and all. It looked like actual plugs, like in the commercials. You can actually find a lot of buildings that looked like them. Pretty cool. And we still have Best Buy, but Best Buy is kind of just there now. Best Buy is not as, it kind of stinks, but Best Buy is not really as big as they once were either. They've actually been struggling too, which really stinks, because I really like the Best Buy. They're a little bit pricey with some stuff, but you can find some interesting stuff in there. And a lot of them I've been to, the employees are actually very nice. Can't say the same thing about GameStop, that's for sure. But they're kind of disappearing too. But they do have their unique looking, stuff to them. So there are some stores that, look unique. But a lot of them, well, especially like Walmart. Walmart kind of feels kind of like, kind of like Kmart and all that in a way. And a lot of other ones are starting to kind of, I don't know, they kind of feel like it in a bit, with some stuff. Kmart too. Yeah, Kmart was, because there was actually this thing, if we, kind of like what we're dealing with right now. Back in the day, this is like 20 years ago now, I think, or actually a little less than 20 years ago. We had this, kind of a similar situation, and a lot of places actually closed down. And Circuit City was one of them. Circuit City actually went out of business, and I think some other stores like Kmart and all that, I think, suffered it too. Kmart survived though, but COVID pretty much killed Kmart and then Sears. Actually, COVID actually did kill Kmart and Sears. Now their CEO did not help with that. They did not help with that, but they pretty much killed it. Yeah, COVID was kind of the nail in the coffin for all the smaller businesses. And yeah, like I said, Trump should have handled that better. He should have handled COVID much better by, like, giving people money or something to help with their businesses. Because I don't think anybody got money for when the places were shut down. But that's kind of the thing too. That's what happened there and all that. And then because like I said, Trump does that. Trump does a lot of crap. He does things that can be good, but he doesn't do them in a very good way, and that's kind of what's happening with the penny too. The penny's like that too. Like, I don't know. I think it sucks that they're discontinuing pennies, but I think it makes sense because they're kind of expensive to make. But then he discontinues them, but now we're all gonna round up the money. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if we're still going to be using the pennies in the stores, if we can still use them, I don't understand why we need to round everything up. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know what's going to happen with all this crap. It is, like I said, it is a freaking mess. And it's not just the U.S., it's everywhere, And I don't want people to think that, again, Trump's all of this. I mean, yeah, Trump's, like, and I'm not, again, patting the guy on the back. I'm just saying, like, people are saying, oh, it's all his fault. If he voted for the other side, it would have been better. No, it wouldn't have been much better. Like, because we were dealing with similar shit on the other side, too. Now, the government didn't get shut down and all that either, but but also it's more so again like both parties fighting back and forth, and it's a bunch of political bullshit is what it is, and that's what it all is, political bullshit, and it's probably gonna just become I don't know, it's probably gonna get settled somehow, but like it's kind of just it's a mess. Like that's why I don't really talk about it much, because I don't get into it much. So I can't really be talking about it a ton because I don't really, get in politics much. So I don't really know everything that's going on. But I'm kind of just telling you guys this stuff because I kind of have things to say about this. But yeah, I will say, I think we're definitely in kind of a depression era right now. Because we've dealt with this before too, like we dealt with kind of people being poor and life being kind of difficult. I mean, that was how it was after the wars and all that. It was not the greatest, but that's why It's nice to save, too, because I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I said, I don't know what's gonna happen. That's why it's good to have some backup money in case something does happen. And to rely on, because you can't rely on the food stamps either. Sometimes you gotta have some extra cash. And I know some people can't always afford it. But again, having a little bit of extra cash is good too. So that can help you out a little bit. But yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some problems. I think we're also going to be seeing some people cutting some streaming services too. I think we're going to see that, and yeah, it's going to be some hell of a fun for sure. I'm saying that kind of sarcastically, if you guys can't tell. But yeah, I do kind of miss those days too, when you could just go into the store and just buy something instead. I don't mind shopping online sometimes, but yeah, I do miss those days where I could go to like a Kmart or a Sears or a Toys R Us, which I guess Toys R Us is technically coming back. Kmart and Sears are around, but not in the U.S. They're pretty much dead in the U.S. Which reminds me, I actually still need to do a video on showing them off. I never actually did that. I actually forgot because I've been busy this week. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I do kind of miss those times too. But I don't mind going like shopping online at times too. But yeah, things are kind of getting more expensive, and I think a lot of stuff online they're starting to charge you more too, because again, competition. When there's no competition, then they can get away with it more, and that's kind of what I think Amazon's at too. Amazon's, right now they're still kind of cheap, but just wait, like if they don't have a lot of competition, they will start charging more. That's kind of how streaming services get away with it too, because there's no competition. And I've tried telling people that with stuff in the past too. I'm like, no competition, then it means you gotta. And yeah, I guess it would cost more money to go buy a movie, but a lot of people I knew already had all these DVDs anyway, so I'm like, why do we need these streaming services, I guess back then it was just Netflix, but now it's like I said, everything's kind of all over the place. Everything's messed up online, again, we got all the money messing up, But I will be speaking of online, I will be talking about the online thing in the next video, because I want to make that a separate thing. I was thinking about making it in this video, but it'll be kind of a separate topic, and it'll be well, it's going to be a separate topic, and this video is already kind of long as it is. But yeah, for the whole money thing, yeah, my best advice is to just save as much as you can for right now, and try to find some jobs like here and there. Like I said, I know the workforce is not in the greatest place right now, but But we'll get by. We'll get by. Especially we have, you know, people who can maybe help us out, too. We got friends and all that, too. But anywho, I'll see you guys later. This is Dash L Rose. Out.